coming to you live from Circuito do Estoril in the west of the Iberian Peninsula in Portugal, just a short drive outside of Lisbon. It's a historic circuit, and the European Talent Cup Race 2 is up next here on Sunday afternoon. 13 corners, among them 2 hairpins, plenty of elevation changes, and a straight nearly a kilometre in length. It is an epic circuit for ETC racing. We've already had one event today, and this morning, in case you missed it and don't want to know the scores, now is the time to turn away. But your race winner was Brian Uriarte after a 3-way battle between the Monlau riders. Joining him on the podium was Hakim Danish with Rico Salmela, also rounding out the young Finn, putting in an impressive ride, and only 0.05 of a second separated the 3 riders. Maximo Quiles, 2021 champion here. Well, we'll have a little look at the highlights first. So as we can see, we've got our 3 breakaway riders who battled for victory throughout the race. The number 51, Brian Uriarte, leading from the front early, but then a crash earlier between Carter Thompson ruled him out of contention. So Brian Uriarte took the initiative for the majority of the race, but he was in pursuit by Hakim Danish and Rico Salmela throughout the race, with it coming down to a final corner decision. The battle for 4th was also very interesting. That went the way of 2021 champion Maximo Quiles, who came from the back of the grid and completed a long lap penalty for a P4 finish. The number 28 there, putting in a hugely impressive ride and will be a contender in race 2. Here we continue with the victory battle. Uriarte out in front, as it had been for most of the race. Salmela following hot pursuit behind as they came into turn 6 and through the chicane and on to the final corner. Ice in the mind, fire in the belly rather, was the message from the garage as they all crossed the line within 0.05 of a second, sparking wild celebrations in pit lane. So congratulations all around for Uriarte with a spectacular win in the opening race of 2023 in the European Talent Cup. So now we get ready for race 2. After a 3-way scrap, we expect a couple more riders to come into contention now that they have served their penalties. 22 degrees in the air, 26 on track. It's quite warm conditions out there, 25 miles per hour, 40 kilometers an hour wind conditions. So it is also very windy, particularly on the lighter machines of Moto 3. So we are at Circuito do Estoril, nestled here in the beautiful Portuguese countryside. Green rolling hills all around, blue skies, very few clouds, as we can see, pretty much crystal clear blue skies all around. Perfect conditions for racing. I'm Chris Jordan. I'm joined here by my trusty lieutenant, Liam Hodgins.
I was hoping you were going to call me captain there, but yes, what an introduction it is from you, Chris, there, and what an absolute day of racing we've had here so far. Some great racing throughout all classes, and if you've not seen any of the racing action just so far, I would highly suggest you go back and re-watch. Now, we've got European Talent Cup underway, and Brian Uriarte, who set pole position quite brilliantly yesterday, will be starting from pole position later on here today. Now, as you can see by the graphic, he was the winner in race number 1 today, but Chris, it was anything but an easy ride to first place.
No, a sensational race right until the wire, decided on the line. Uriarte put in an absolute masterclass throughout. He led from the front for the majority of the race, dropped in then into second position as they came through the final lap, and he found that slipstream to just get ahead of his teammates Danish and Salmela for a victory.
Yeah, very, very well thought out victory it was by Brian Uriarte. The rider that did take the lead halfway around the final lap was Hakim Danish. And, well, he had made a bit of a mistake with half a lap to go, so he dropped back into third spot and couldn't quite power past his, well, stablemate in the Estrella Galicia and Monla Moto team, so he had to settle for second position. For third position behind Rico Salmela, but the top three in the race were light years ahead of the rest of the field. No one saw which way they went. But one rider that we must talk about that was starting from the back of the grid, just behind this man here, Rico Salmela, on the grid for race number 2, will be Max Quiles. Now, he'll be starting from 4th spot, so you can imagine he will be able to go with the top 3 from race number 1.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if he isn't within the conversation come the final laps. His pace was outstanding in race 1, coming from the back of the grid with a long lap penalty.
Absolutely electric scenes from Max Quiles on the 28 team Aspar junior team machine. So he will be definitely one to watch for the podium battle. There he is on screen, the man we were just talking about, the 2021 European Talent Cup champion. And, well, his 4th place in race number 1 that shows you how much pace he really has.
Yeah, 2021 European Talent Cup champion. You don't need to say a whole lot more. He's got bags of pedigree, bags of quality. He showed that in race 1, and I'd be very surprised if he's not among the victory battle later on today. He will have his hands full, though, in that Monlau School trio with the Team Estrella Galicia 0-0 duo of Salmela and Uriarte and Hakim Danish ahead of them, but they all showed their quality in race 1. Are they ready for another rider to join the party?
Well, another cat amongst the pigeons, as they would say, in Max Quiles. And here's another rider that showed very well in the opening laps of race number 1, but dropped back a little bit, was the Italian of Pugliese. So he's doing very well, showing his class so far this weekend. And he only picked up 2 points in the end of last year, so an improvement to 6th in race number 1 was points that he has never seen before, and you can imagine he will be well and truly in the battle for the top 5 here today. Guido Pini, your last year's champion, he will be on screen now. So Guido Pini, your last year's champion, running the number 1 plate. It's really good to see the number 1 in the European Talent Cup on front of the machine. Max Quiles, he didn't run it last year. He stuck with his number 28 when he was the champion from the year before. But Guido Pini, he really has shown that he is number 1, and he is the rider that they should all be chasing. However, race number 1 didn't quite go his way. He was out on the curbs quite a few times, running out wide and dropping back. But the very smiley Italian is ready to go for race number 2 and hoping for a much better result in this one.
Yeah, didn't have the best qualifying, a little further back than we expected for the reigning champion. P8 in the end. It's a solid point-scoring position, but if he is to retain his title, he will need better results than that. As we see some of the fans just getting some snaps in, having a little pre-race chatter. And we've got the number 24 on screen here, Guillaume Plonk. He was another rider who started at the back of the grid, collected 4 points in race 1. Let's see what he can do from 7th now.
Yes, he had really strong pace. He went with Max Quiles in the first few laps of the race, but towards the end, maybe it was tire life, maybe pushed too much. He dropped back towards 12th at the flag. So much more to come from the young Frenchman, Guillaume Plonk, so we can expect him to be well and truly in the mix on the number 24 machine, just ahead of the number 93 in the Finetwork Mir junior team. There's many associations with the Repsol Hondas in MotoGP with Mir, and of course the number 93 that Ferrandez, I should say, is running. And here he is on screen here. Ferrandez, a very, very, very big talent that we must keep an eye out.
Yeah, we were very much bigging him up ahead of race 1, but unfortunately didn't see the checkered flag, caught up in an incident that saw him take a trip into the gravel trap. He'll be out for a little bit of vengeance to pick up his first points of the year.
Yes, it was an incident he was wrapped up with Carter Thompson as well. So both riders, they rolled into the gravel trap at turn number 5, a very fast right-hander going onto the back straight, but thankfully both riders were able to walk away from that, and they are competing here in race number 2. And there he is, Carter Thompson. We just mentioned him there. He was well inside the top 5, looking for a great result before that unfortunate incident with the man he's starting alongside. A wave to the camera for Ferrandez. So he will be hoping to improve on that championship position of 49th that we're seeing there. We can tell you that that won't be hard to do for the young Australian who was an ATC race winner last year. So we know that Carter Thompson on the number 50 AGRT machine has bags and bags of talent.
Yeah, absolutely. He put in an impressive showing until the disappointing crash out in race 1. Again, another rider looking to make amends. As is the Qatari Hamad Khamis Al-Sahuti, another rider who didn't see the checkered flag in race 1, but he has shown plenty of ETC quality in the previous year. He's picked up 17 points last year, 21st position overall in the championship, even made it into the JuniorGP for a race. So he's got bags of quality.
He does, he does. He's been in Asia Talent Cup for many years. He's shown lots of stardom there. He's come over here learning new tracks, but he has shown that he has got a good amount of talent and, as you said, was able to move up to JuniorGP for one round last year and wasn't out of his depth. So we know that Ahmed Al-Sahuti will be one to watch out for as the season progresses. Very chilled on the grid is your pole setter, Brian Uriarte, waiting to get going on the number 51 machine for race number 2 here at Estoril for the European Talent Cup. So the klaxon sounds for the team personnel, the mechanics to make the way off the grid as the riders will be getting ready to start their action here with 15 laps underway under the scorching Portuguese sun at the Circuito do Estoril, and a brilliant, brilliant race we have in action. In store. So absolutely a quick run through the grid. It's Uriarte on pole ahead of Danish and Salmela. Quiles, Pugliese and Pini are in row 2. Guillaume Blanc, Ferrandez and Carter Thompson in the front in row 3. Al-Sahuti in row 4 alongside David Gonzalez and Benyat Fernandez. Doro Baggio, Rush Mutli, Pau Alsina follow behind on the next row. And here we see some more of the names. At the back of it we see the Brit, number 26, Brinton. And then our 3 qualifiers from the last chance race this morning. They will prop up the back of the grid. Yes, the rider that won the last chance race, Bellon, the Frenchman, he showed very well in the first part of the race this morning. So watch out for the number 33 bike on the MB38 by Mecha Sport coming through the field. So the riders get underway on the warm-up lap, and the 30-strong field is making their way around the Estoril circuit to begin race number 2. Brian Uriarte leads them into turn number 1 and a position that we're hoping to stay in for all of today's 15-lap action in race number 2.
Yeah, we see some tear-offs flying through the wind, getting as clear as vision as possible as they come around turn number 3. Begin the uphill descent. Track temperatures keep on rising up to 27 degrees Celsius now. It'll be interesting to see how that affects the tire wear on these machines. But coming through the back straight now, or leading up into the back straight now.
Yes, conditions are getting a lot warmer this afternoon, 27 degrees track temperature. You can imagine it might not cause too many of the riders issues, but some of them that might be coming towards the back of the grid. Dodo Boggio, for example, in 13th spot, the number 47 in the Aspar Junior team. He's been a little bit out of sight so far this weekend. He's not really been as far up the field as we should have expected. However, it is European Talent Cup. There are slipstream effects and anything can happen.
And we see on the right of the screen, Uriarte leads the championship standings. Will it still be that way once the checkered flag waves here? Well, we're only going to find out in just a few moments.
Yeah, electric action from the European Talent Cup coming up for race number 2. We're starting a little bit later in proceedings than what we were hoping to be. 14:40 will be the start time, so just in a couple of moments' time. But because of red flags in Moto 2 and European Talent Cup, we are just running a little bit behind schedule, but we still have 3 fantastic races coming your way, including race number 2 here for the European Talent Cup. And Brian Uriarte will be hoping to make it a double, just like Joel Esteban did in 2022. Who can stop him? Can it be Hakim Danish, who goes from the middle of the front row? Can it be Rico Salmela, who took second in race number 1? Or can Max Quiles, the 2021 champion, show why he was so brilliant in that season, and why he came through the field from last on the grid all the way up to 4th in race number 1 later on today. Or will it be the likes of Pugliese, Pini or Plonk that can challenge at the front? We'll just find out in a couple of moments' time. The last riders are making their way towards the grid, putting themselves into position. That is the number 24 of Game Plonk that rolls up, the final rider on the grid. The green flag waves at the back. The revs are rising. The red lights come on. It's going to be go for race number 2 here in the European Talent Cup at Estoril. Great start there from Uriarte and Danish from the front row of the grid. A really bad start for Rico Salmela on the outside. He's dropping all the way back down the field as well. And then we've got Pini, your number 1. He's all the way up to 4th spot, just dropping back ever so slightly as Uriarte leads the way. A bit of a wheelie to come out the first corner. It's actually Hakim Danish is taking the lead from Uriarte ahead of Max Keeles. Some riders out on the green. Further back, Rico Salmela moves up into 4th ahead of Guido Pini, as some of the riders are pushing each other off the track, all gone wide, but so far so good as all riders have made it through the first few corners.
Yeah, it's elbows out at the moment, but it's Danish in the lead ahead of Uriarte, with Keeles hot on their tails. Rico Salmela, who was a breakaway trio last time. Max Keeles has most certainly joined the party. Let's see, can those 4 riders get ahead? But here comes Guido Pini up the inside, and he's managed a move just up the inside of Salmela for P4. But Salmela fights back, reclaims the position.
Guido Pino means business in race number 2 here today. Salmela could not get back up the inside. He's coming for a 3rd spot as well. That's Max Keeles. You can't outbreak Max Keeles. He's one of the last of the late breakers. And Hakim Danish running a little bit out wide there onto the green. You can't be doing that too often here today. Max Keeles up the inside of Uriarte, can't make it stick. And that was actually Hakim Danish who was trying to get up the inside of there. So it's all chopping and changing at the front, and some of the riders are trying to get even further up ahead because they don't want Uriarte to make a gap, as he's already doing as they come around the final corner.
Yeah, we can see the Finetwork Mirror junior team machine of Ferrandez slowly but surely working his way through that pack. He's tagged on to the back of this lead group and looking to make some moves. He's got Salmela in front of him with Guido Pini not far out. But at the moment, the number 51, the race 1 winner, Brian Uriarte, leads them over the line.
The Honda Moto3 Sheens thunder past our commentary box, and it's Salmela late in the brakes. Here comes the number 1 of Pini as well. He's trying to show everyone why he's number 1 this year, but can't make the move. Max Keeles, we've got some riders running off in the background, not quite sure who that might be. But Max Keeles, he's up into 2nd spot now, and he's chasing after race 1 winner Uriarte. Here comes Pini once more. He's made that move stick ahead of Salmela. He's now into 4th spot. Can Salmela retaliate into turn number 4? No, he cannot. And just behind them, Ferrandez and Plonk, they're in the mix now for this battle. So it's all go here in European Talent Cup, race number 2, 14 laps to go.
Yeah, Uriarte looks to have built a little bit of a gap now over Keeles, which is 0.3 of a second on our timing screens between them. But that really is nothing when you've got slipstream. Up comes Guido Pini now into 3rd place. Will he hold on? Yes, he will.
Yeah, no mistake like he did last lap. So Guido Pini up to 3rd spot, just behind his champion counterpart, Max Keeles. Is he going for another one here? No, he's not. He's just holding stationary for now.
Just taking a little practice look at what's coming up. Probably, I wouldn't be surprised to see him trying that next lap if he doesn't get ahead of him, either at the chicane here, which he won't, or over with the slipstream.
Uriarte out a little bit wide there as he was trying to defend his line from Keeles. Guido Pini taking a very tight line there up the inside of Keeles. Can't make it stick, but that's very ambitious.
Shut in his face.
It really was. There I thought he was about to take his front wheel away from bumping and barging further back. That's the art box of Alcina and Luciano having some battles further back there. Elbows out as well. So they're battling with Fernandez on the Frando Racing VHC team, and Gonzalez as well just outside the top 10. But slipstream City
on the slipstream. Will he hold
3
on? In fact,
abreast.
Keeles is taking it 4 abreast going into turn 1. Who's going to come out of this in the lead? Pini looks to have the advantage, but Keeles, yeah, he's gotten ahead of Salmela. Uriarte has dropped out completely. He's back in 5th position.
And here comes Ferrandez as well, the number 93 Finetwork Mirror Machine as well. He's into 4th spot. So it's Keeles who's leading from Pini, Uriarte, and of course the number 93 of Ferrandez. All changes. Pini looks up the inside of Max Keeles. You can't do it there without some sort of rubbing. And Gonzalez takes the fastest lap of the race. So Gonzalez in 10th position. He says the fastest lap of the race. So you just know this race has a little bit of a different taste as race number 1.
Yeah, Gonzalez as well was getting into a habit of setting fast laps. He did that in race 1-2 when he was in P11 or P10, around the same position. So he's got a bit of open road to play with, whereas it's all chopping and changing at the front. Quiles leads Pini, but Pini's having that look up the inside, and has he got it? Who's got the better drive? Coming out downhill. Oh, it's very tight here. Salmela drops back behind, but it's Quiles who is in control of this race. Ferrandez now up the 3rd position.
Yeah, Ferrandez trying to make amends of what happened to him in race number 1 with that clash with Carter Thompson in the opening stages of the race. I thought Pini was about to look up the inside of Max Quiles. How many riders are in this group? It's about 15 all the way down to Dodo Boggio. So yes, the top 14 riders all within just over a second of each other. This is what European Talent Cup is all about, as they round the Parabolica one more time, and we will see Slipstream City as they blast past our commentary box. To start finish straight, it's Max Quiles who leads away from Pini, from Ferrandez, from Salmela, Uriarte, as the gap opens up a little bit back to Danish. 5 abreast almost as they come down the straight to click off another lap. Who is it going to be down towards turn number 1? Uriarte on the left, Salmela on the right, and it's Uriarte who takes the lead, but Pini late on the brakes and just gets ahead of Quiles. So it's now Uriarte from Salmela, from Pini, from Quiles, who runs a bit off the track. So he loses position to Ferrandez. So Quiles, he was first across the line, he's now back to 5th.
Guido Pini having a look up the inside once again, but too far away. Brian Uriarte exchanging the favour. What happened to him last lap? Leading over the line, dropped down to P5. Max Quiles now in P5 with Uriarte back in front.
Yeah, it's a bit dangerous for the field with Uriarte in front, because we know he has the strongest pace probably of anyone in the field, so they'll be trying to ruffle his feathers as quickly as possible. Salmela looks to up the inside, but it's Guido Pini who goes around the outside of both of them, can make it stick on Salmela but can't make it stick on Uriarte. So this is what we're expecting from the reigning champion. More of this from Guido Pini with the number 1, and some riders running out wide. That was Max Quiles, and one of the other riders further back as well. So you don't want to be doing that too many times. As we mentioned in previous races, you get a strike rate of 3 before you get a warning. As you head into the chicane, here comes Pini up the inside of Uriarte. Uriarte chops the nose off the front of Guido Pini, so that all remains a station for now.
Yeah, it's a classy control out front from Uriarte. Guido Pini, though, you can see he is anxious to make a move, anxious just to get ahead and lead this race. Salmela in 3rd place, he's reclaimed the position from Ferrandez, but he's not going anywhere. While it's David Gonzalez has pushed himself all the way up into contention here. The number 11, blazing across the Cuna de Campeones rider with the fastest lap of the race last time. He was in P10, he's up in P4 now, and he's going for more. Up on the right-hand side of Salmela. Will he take the lead of this Grand Prix coming into turn 1?
Yes, he does. What a great move there from the Cuna de Campeones rider. He runs a little bit wide. Can Uriarte retake? He can't take it, so that's Gonzalez who also sets the fastest lap of the race. That's 2 in a row now for the Cuna de Campeones rider, and he overtakes and takes the lead of the race from Brian Uriarte, with Pini still in 3rd spot, just ahead of Ferrandez, and of course Uriarte, who's just dropped to the back of this as well. So Salmela is in 2nd spot, with a bit of a gap further back to Hakim Danish and Max Quiles. So they'll be hoping to try and bridge the gap to the top 5 with, well, 10.5 laps to go. Anything can happen, and Hakim Danish has already put the line into the back of the front group and already starting to reel them back in, as Pini is back into 2nd spot.
I just wonder now if David Gonzalez is thinking about pulling the pin here and opening up a bit of a gap between 1st and 2nd place. He's put back-to-back fastest laps of the race in, and it looks like he's going for another. The gap to Guido Pini is opening up, as we can see on our screens, just a little bit.
This is something we did not expect from Gonzalez whatsoever here today. It looked strong in race number 1. Oh, a bit of a moment there on the front end as he came through the first part of the chicane. Managed to hold it though, but that will give Pini a lot of confidence in the game to close him back up. As you saw there, Brian Uriarte is telling the riders behind him to follow him. It is European Talent Cup. I can't imagine anyone is going to listen to Brian Uriarte.
No, we see it so often. The little hand wave to fall into line behind me and let me catch him, boys. But I don't foresee it going that way. He's got Ferrandez on his tail with the number 13 of Hakim Danish completing this lead group. As they come down into turn 1, 3 abreast, 2 abreast, 4 abreast, 5 abreast, who knows?
5 abreast indeed into turn number 1. Here comes Ferrandez in the number 93 machine. He moves into second. Wow, what an incredible move. Brian Uriarte is back into the lead of the race. Pini tries to retaliate. He does and pushes Ferrandez back into third spot. There's chopping and changes everywhere you look. Our timing monitors can't even keep up with it. And Pini dives for the apex, just trying to keep Ferrandez behind.
Yeah, Pini seems to be going for the narrower line every time on that right-hander, but gets the door shut in his face, whether it's Quiles or Uriarte out front. But the one thing we've seen so far, you do not want to be leading on the final lap coming out of the final corner.
Yes, it's dangerous stuff leading on the final lap coming out of that final corner, as it is in European Talent Cup. Slipstream is a big player in this championship. One of the riders is dropping down our time monitors a little bit. I think it was just the number 7 of Fernandez, but he seems to be okay. So maybe just ran off track a little bit further behind as well. As I was just thinking, the gap behind Max Quiles and also David Gonzalez are still closing back up again. So it's all changed for the back. Whatever way you look, you don't know where it's going to go, as we might have another change for third spot. Rico Salmela looking up the inside of Ferrandez, and Uriarte once again taking those wide sweeping lines, which gives Pini a little look up the inside, but can't make anything quite stick yet.
Yeah, Guido Pini just needs to be a little bit careful of track limits. He was on the green there. As we've mentioned a couple of times, 3 times, and you are getting a long lap penalty. So just needs to keep it a little bit cleaner around some of these corners as he's stepping onto the green. Coming over the line, once again, it's Uriarte who leads, but will that be the case as they come out of turn 1? I don't think so, as they all get into the slipstream and make their move. The number 27 of Salmela at the moment looks like he's going to take the lead coming into turn 1. Ferrandez in second, round the outside from Uriarte. But does he make it stick? No, Guido Pini holds on to P3.
I thought Uriarte was going to make that one stick there, almost Pecco Bagnaia from Jerez last week on Martin. But here comes Pini up the inside of Ferrandez. He makes a stick on the Spaniard, the number 93 machine, and he's back into second place. But so Pini seems he has an answer for everything. When he drops back one position, he always has an answer and can move himself forward as quickly as possible. But it's the young Finn, Rico Salmela, who's looking for that first victory here and Estoril, and Pini on the curbs round the outside. If he's made it stick, that is one of the moves of the year so far from Guido Pini. That is the champion back into first place, into turn number 6, and also Ferrandez follows him through. So Rico Salmela was caught napping there from Guido Pini and Ferrandez, as Guido Pini ran round the outside on the curb to take the lead of the race, and Salmela is trying to retaliate but can't quite do it just yet. Lots of riders in this group, some riders, including Fernandez further back, running onto the green as well. So we might start getting some notifications through of track limits warning.
Yeah, it's all action here. Guido Pini into the lead, coming through the chicane. He's got Ferrandez just behind him with Salmela, Uriarte and David Gonzalez. And I tell you what, about another 5 or 6 riders who fancy their chances of getting into podium contention. But it's Guido Pini who's leading, coming around the final corner. Long sweeping right-hander as we get a long drive now to the line coming into turn 1. Nearly a kilometre, 900 metres in length. How many riders abreast are we going this time? It's at least 4, I guess. And who is going to lead? David Gonzalez trying to move up the inside coming into turn 1, but we see the number 51 of Uriarte pushing himself.
And Hakim Danish has gone right
out of nowhere.
Wow, what a move. He's ran a little bit wide. That gives Uriarte a chance to look up the inside. Someone running wide further back. That looked like Fernandez once again on the number 7 machine with the day-glow yellow helmet. But here comes Uriarte up the inside, and as clean as you like on his teammate. That is Uriarte into first spot now as everyone is closing back up. That's a freight train of about 12 riders all the way down to Luciano in 12th spot on the number 81 machine. But Brian Uriarte has found his way back to the front once more.
Yeah, as it was then in race 1, it's a Monlau, Team Estrella Galicia, 1-2 out front. Hakim Danish is there with Brian Uriarte. Uriarte leads. Rico Salmela isn't far away, and we've got Ferrandez in there too, along with David Gonzalez, Max Quiles. It's all chopping and changing. The number 22 out there, Jesus Torres going a little bit wide. Is Ferrandez looking now in the purple bike of the Finetwork Mir Racing Team machine, was looking up the inside there on Uriarte as they come into the chicane uphill. Uriarte will take the lead, yeah, and will remain in the lead coming through here. But again, slipstream weights coming down the final straight in just a moment.
Yeah, you can imagine that Brian Uriarte will not be running or in the lead of this race, as a notification has just flashed up of the track limits warning. That is for Fernandez and the number 7 machine that went wide at turn number 1 lap ago. So here we go. Running on to the home straight once more. 7 laps remaining as they come across the line. Slipstream City, and it's Fernandez, the number 93, slipstream past Uriarte, but here comes David Gonzalez. Guido Pini on the outside, and also Hakim Danish, who's trying to go around the outside like he did 1 lap ago, but it's Salmela that takes the lead. The young Finnish rider on the number 27 Monlau Team Australia Galicia machine takes the lead as all riders run onto the curb and almost run into the green. So Salmela from Pini, from Gonzalez, from Danish. Uriarte dropped back once again, but here comes Gonzalez, here comes Pini, as Salmela takes a wide sweeping line, a qualifying line, so to speak, but that leaves them very vulnerable for an attack on the inside.
Guido Pini must be tired of taking the inside line there, because every time he looks to have an opening just ahead of him, the door is shut in his face. This time it's Rico Salmela to take the lead, or hold on to the lead, but Guido Pini isn't going anywhere. David Gonzalez is just hanging on as well into P3, with number 13 Danish coming up on the outside, on the inside rather, and the left-hander here at turn 6. We begin the downhill descent. Will we see any changes as we come in? Well, David Gonzalez has a little look over at Guido Pini. He says, "How's it going, buddy? I'm here and I'm challenging you for the lead." But at the moment, it's Pini who is going to lead coming up in towards the final sector.
Yeah, Rico Salmela's having some problems, the fast kick of turn number 5. He loses a lot of drive through that has allowed Guido Pini and Gonzalez, and also his teammate of Hakim Danish to get the run on him going towards turn number 6. So not sure what quite the issue is there. Maybe it's a gearing problem for the number 27 of Rico Salmela, but there's been some chopping and changing for third place. It's allowed Pini and Gonzalez to open up a little bit of an advantage over the chasing group, which has now been led by the number 27 of Rico Salmela ahead of Uriarte and the number 13 of Hakim Danish. You'll see the Dayglow yellow machine, or the Dayglow yellow helmet of Dodo Boggio, the number 47 on the Aspar Junior team, flash into view. He's up to 6th now, and he is now in the mix, as is Brian Uriarte once more. He takes the lead from his teammate, who runs a little bit wide. He's onto the green now, so that's another one for him. He'll have to watch out, because he might start getting a track limits warning as Guido Pini finds 3rd spot once more from David Gonzalez.
Yeah, it's chock-a-block action up front here, but one name I've just noticed on the timing screen, Giulio Pugliese, is down in 25th place from a 2nd row start. It's been a bit of a horror show for the young Italian, as he harboured ambitions of a top 10 finish, and now he is struggling to finish in the points. Back up front, the number 26 track limits warning for Pau Alsina, so that's his 2nd rider to receive one of them, and we guess there might be a couple more coming.
Yeah, lots of riders now. They're feeling in the heat of the battle. Very, very heated now. Hakim Danish, that is up the inside of David Gonzalez. David Gonzalez is about to go up the inside as Salmela tries to get up the inside of Brian Uriarte, as Uriarte runs a little bit wide. Dodo Boggio now, and here comes Fernandez again late in the brakes. He's trying to get the thing stopped. He does. That's for 7th place. Fernandez had to stay there. So it's all chock-a-block, as you said, Chris, and chopping and changing. And here comes Gonzalez up the inside of Pini. Pini closes the door firmly shut, and he tries to go around the outside. Instead does Gonzalez. That was opportunistic, didn't make it stick. So everyone is trying different lines and different ways to get around the corners, and trying to go over the top of each other sometimes to overtake.
Yeah, here we come now into the final sector, final corners. Once again, Uriarte out front, but it's all coming in with just over 5 laps to go. We'll cross the line here, and we'll have 5 laps to go. Let's see who's going to lead coming out of turn 1. He might just have a little bit of an advantage here.
Brian Uriarte trying a different line down the left-hand side of the circuit instead of the right now, to try and see if to stop anyone from coming past. But Guido Pini once again down for the apex of the corner, but can't make any overtakes. And it looked like once again they're running over that rumble strip. Maybe it's just a dip in the curb that's just confusing our eyes on the exit of turn at number 1. But Uriarte still leading the way, this time from Guido Pini. Salmela and Dodo Boggio there with the yellow helmet and 5th spot now, so he's worked his way up from 13th place only a few laps ago, and he's now right in the mix as Gonzalez looked like he had a bit of an issue going into turn number 4, runs a little bit wide. That's given an opportunistic move for Dodo Boggio to move up into 4th.
Yeah, change in tack coming over the line last time from Brian Uriarte, and he maintained the lead, so he might see a little bit of a tactical shift in this race, with the leading rider deciding to take the wider line coming down from start finish.
Yeah, everyone's trying to outthink everyone else, and Guido Pini once again, he's running on the green on the exit of turn number 6 as Dodo Boggio, the number 47 rider, championship contender last year, Aspar Junior Team rider, he's now up into 3rd spot. He's making moves now. He can see the victory only just a couple of meters in front of him as Pini once again dives for that inside line. Only 4 and a bit laps remaining of this incredible European Talent Cup race number 2 here at Jerez. At Estoril, sorry.
Estoril, you're getting excited, yes. Living in the future.
Oh, a bit of a moment there from Dodo Boggio, losing the front over the curbs there. A bit of a chatter from the front end of the Aspar Junior Team machine, but he's managed to collect that. Only lost a little bit of time to Pini just in front, but since he's collected himself very well, he has time to get the slipstream. But Brian Uriarte once again holding that left-hand side as it go down the home straight, and he's broken the slipstream of the riders behind as Dodo Boggio, Salmela, Gonzalez and Pini 4 abreast, and Pini's lay on the brakes once more with that same move again, trying to overtake on the inside of the corner by darting straight for the apex, but can't make it stick.
Yeah, this new tack is playing right into the hands of Brian Uriarte out front, breaking the slipstream while the scrambling pack
Gonzalez
chop and change.
Gonzalez and Salmela just rubbed their fairings there, setting up both riders there, so they've dropped back a little bit. And that's Ferrandez now pushing past the number 13 of Hakim Danish, so it's now starting to get a little bit physical out there.
Yeah, Uriarte maintaining his lead. He's out to 3/10 now, so we might see him try break that slipstream, but Dodo Boggio is charging hard, isn't he?
He very much is. Dodo Boggio is as we know, he's a very fast rider. He's just had a little bit of bad luck towards the end of 2022. He's had a bit of bad luck this weekend, not quite had the pace, but when it's mattered, he's really found it. After starting from the back of the grid in race number 1, he picked up some points, but he's now come through the field quite brilliantly, and he's now challenging Brian Uriarte into the chicane for the race lead. But Brian Uriarte slams the door shut in front of Dodo Boggio with the Dayglow yellow helmet. You can pick him out from absolutely anyone on circuit, but Brian Uriarte, he had a big lap going on to the start-finish line last lap. This time round it seems a little bit closer, with Dodo Boggio just a little bit closer to his back rear wheel as they round the parabolica for one more time. As they come across the start-finish line now, it will be 3 laps to go. Now will we see Brian Uriarte hold the left-hand side of the circuit? He does again, but not quite as much as he had done in the previous couple of laps. That gives Dodo Boggio a bit of a chance to get in the slipstream, but he's not popping out just yet. He allows Brian Uriarte to remain in the lead. Pini just behind, and then it's Ferrandez making a move on Salmela for 4th.
2 laps in a row, Uriarte has led out of turn 1, but Boggio is hot on his tail. Guido Pini and Ferrandez not far behind. The race has settled a little bit. It's not chopping and changing in the lead pack as much. Perhaps everyone just waiting for their moment to strike in just 1 or 2 laps time. Only 3 laps remaining of race 2 here, the European Talent Cup at Estoril.
I must say I'm a little bit surprised to see Max Quiles so far down the field. He's in 7th spot. I thought he would have made a bit more an impression on this race. Just as we're talking about him, he appears on screen there. And we've got a track limits warning for the number 33. That is the rider Bellon, who we're talking about, the French rider starting from the back row of the grid. So he's got track limits warning as well. He's in 23rd spot, so he won't be having any impact on the race for the lead. But an impact on the race for the lead will be Dodo Boggio trying to ride around the outside of Brian Uriarte, but can't make it stick. So the top 5 have all concertinaed together with only 2.5 laps to go. Yeah,
they're all getting bunched up. Once again, expect a little bit of chopping and changing, and that might bring the likes of Max Quiles right back into podium contention, perhaps even victory contention. But it's a bit of a masterclass so far from the race 1 winner, Brian Uriarte. He leads once again coming through the S's and after the chicane, coming around Parabolica. Once again, after this, there will be 2 more visits to this iconic turn, but the slipstream effect will come into play. Let's see how he gets on here. Can he maintain a lead coming out of turn 1 for a 3rd consecutive lap as Guido Pini pushes up right beside him, coming in now.
Yeah, I thought Guido Pini was about to run in the grass. He's powered past him so much. He's already in the lead by the time they get to turn number 1. Here comes Boggio. Here comes Max Quiles. So as we were trying to say, it looks like he's out of contention. He's already thrown himself back into contention. So it's Pini that leads the way. Brian Uriarte 2nd, Dodo Boggio 3rd, Ferrandez and 4th. Who's got the run and who coming into turn number 3? It's Uriarte, looks across.
And the little look over.
Like, how you doing, buddy? See you at the finish line. I'm taking 1st place back. This is mine and I want it.
Yeah, Guido Pini has made that move several times, and yes, every time, whether it be Uriarte, whether it be Ferrandez, Quiles, Salmela, they have all shut the door in his face.
Yeah, and the team are looking on with smiles on their face. They know this is a great ride from their man, Brian Uriarte. But Dodo Boggio round the outside. He got a great run. Here comes Max Keeler. So it's going to be an Aspar junior team 1-2 with a lap and a bit to go. And once again, Uriarte looks at the rider who's just overtaking and gives him a little wave as well. So Max Keeler has been bumped back to third spot. And he comes back again. This is, Pini's down.
Big crash, and he's wiped out another rider.
It looks like it might be Danish who's maybe taking it. So Pini lost the front as we knew something was going to happen, and it has done. Guido Pini is down, and he's taking out the unfortunate Hakim Danish in that incident once as well.
Oh, that is just how is your luck. He was right in podium contention, as was Danish, and just lost the front coming around the right-hander.
Yeah,
thankfully at turn 7, both riders, it seems, are okay and have walked away with it. Maybe they won't be on each other's Christmas card list this year, but thankfully they are both okay.
Whoa,
so
that
we
was
see
tight.
there Dodo Boggio swerving out in front.
Yeah, very, very close between the two teammates coming on to the start finish straight. Dodo Boggio swerves across Max Keeler, and both almost came together. Who's going to lead? Here comes Brian Uriarte once more. He timed it to perfection once more. Ferrandez up the inside for third, but it's Max Keeler who slots back into third. Boggio back to fourth. Someone well out wide there. It's all chopping and changing. Sal Mel's back in the fifth spot, just behind Gonzalez as well. Anyone can take victory here today, but with Brian Uriarte, he looks the most confident. He looks the most comfortable, and you know that he is very quick onto the home straight. So if he's got a bit of a gap, he might just have enough power to hold it.
Yeah, Uriarte in control of this race on the last lap, coming through to the final few turns now. We've got Max Keeler eyeing up a move with Ferrandez, but Dodo Boggio, David Gonzalez, Rico Salmela are all very much part of this, as the number 22 of Jesus Torres begins to close up on that lead group. He might fancy himself a late podium. Coming around turn 6 now for the last time.
We've got a change of lead. Max
Keeler
Keeler
has pushed himself in front. And for how long? Will we see Uriarte make a move up the outside? No, we won't. We'll see Ferrandez make one, but he will not make it stick, as Gonzalez holds on to the final podium position for now.
Half a lap to go. Max Keeler's made a great move on Uriarte into turn number 6. Here comes Boggio up the inside. He's pushed his way from 5th into 3rd. Gonzalez goes round the outside of all 3 of them as well. So it's all chopping and changing. It's a battle for the podium. Gonzalez, he's put himself in great position to try and slipstream past Uriarte and Keeler on the run to the line, but one more corner to go. Max Keeler leads the way from Brian Uriarte. Who will get into the slipstream? Who will gain the power from the whole punch in the air from the riders in front as they come towards the line? Keeler leads it, but Brian Uriarte pulls out. It's photo finish once more, and it's Uriarte who takes it by thousandths of a second, 6,000ths of a second from Max Keeler, and David Gonzalez takes the 3rd spot ahead of Dodo Boggio, Ferrandez, Salmela and Torres. But wow, did Uriarte time that to absolute perfection once again.
He's done it again. Did it in race 1, has done it in race 2. 2:42. What timing. He has the master of the slipstream here in Estoril. Thousandths of a second. Yes, another photo finish here.
Absolutely incredible from the number 51. 2 from 2, as Chris just said. He's backed it up with his absolute brilliant performance earlier on today as well. He sees his fan club. They've got a bit of a poster to show them. He congratulates them. He congratulates everyone. Brian Uriarte, he is a superstar for European Talent Cup, and you can imagine that he will be the rider that everyone has the target on. Everyone will be wanting to beat Brian Uriarte, as he has just timed his racing to absolute perfection here today. Watch yourself, boys. You don't be knocking off the race winner just yet. And Max Keeler, you got to feel a little bit sorry for him, but hey, it's another great ride for the number 28 rider. He has put to bed the ghosts of last year, when he not only high-sided himself out of one race, but out of both races in the first lap as well. So Estoril is not such a happy hunting ground for the 2021 champion, but he's found some form here today. And I've got to give a mention to the Cuna de Campiones rider of the number 11, David Gonzalez. There he is on screen. He rode an absolutely brilliant race, set the fastest lap of the race, not just on one lap, but on different laps throughout the race, and he powered his way from mid-pack towards the front of the field, and at one stage he looked like he would be in perfect position to take the win, but before Brian Uriarte eventually timed it to absolute brilliance and slipstream past Max Keelis on the run to the line. So as Brian Uriarte makes his way back towards Parc Fermé, we will hear from the race 2 winner and also the race 1 winner in a little bit of time with Chris Jordan, who will be awaiting his presence in Parc Fermé. And there's Max Keelis, the number 28 with the Aspar Junior team. Congratulations for him. Dodo Boggio, his teammate, just missed out on a podium by 400ths of a second. Are we going to get a little burnout here from your race 1 winner? No, not quite. Just getting more hugs from more of the fan club, maybe some family members as well. But that was absolutely outstanding from Brian Uriarte, who won a couple of races last year, won a race in 2021 as well. But this year, he really looks like he's mounting a title challenge, and it looks like it'll be very, very hard to stop him. He's waving to the camera. He knows that was a big one here today, and he knows he's put 50 strong points on the board right from the off here in Estoril, and that will be very, very important for him as he hopes to continue this form going into Valencia in just a couple of weeks' time. As you can rightly imagine, we're keeping all eyes on the race winner as he comes back in towards the pits. Can't imagine there's anyone happier in the paddock than Brian Uriarte on the Team Australia Galicia 00 bike. And Max Keelis, he must just be a little bit upset, happy but upset that he just missed out on what would have been his first race win since Valencia race 2 last year. He comes back into pits. The Team Australia Galicia team, they're very, 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 very used. They're very used to being on the top step of the podium, having lots of riders in their academy that they push through all the way up to the World Championship in Moto3. And Brian Uriarte, he is going to be another one of those riders that you can expect to hear lots of in the coming years, especially throughout 2023. Max Keelis, he looks happy enough with his second place here today, and he can hold himself quite high today as he put in a brilliant performance. 4th place in race number 1 from the back of the grid. Second position here today, led quite brilliantly the last lap before he was eventually slipstreamed by Brian Uriarte. And David Gonzalez, the number 11 on the Cuna de Campeones machine, he takes his first ever European Talent Cup podium, and he will be delighted with that one. His team celebrate with him. The picture's getting taken for the Instagram a little bit later on. You will be seeing that on his page. And you can imagine there'll be plenty more to come from Gonzalez in the foreseeable future and within this year as well, because he's here to stay as a Cuna de Campeones rider, and the Cuna de Campeones team, you just know, will be pushing him forward. Now, this is the incident that happened on the second last lap. Guido Pini lost the front going into turn number 7, and the luckless Hakim Danish had absolutely nowhere to go, and he was skittled out as well. Thankfully, both riders seemed to walk away from the incident, but Guido Pini was pushing the front of that bike quite a lot in that race, and you can only imagine that he pushed it over the limit. The tyres squealed too much in the end, and he skittled out one of your championship hopefuls, Hakim Danish. Stand on foot pegs. He knows he is number 1 here today, does Brian Uriarte. A fantastic victory for him. And we can also hear from the man that won both races here today in the European Talent Cup. He's down in Parc Fermé with Chris Jordan.
Brian, 2 from 2 today on the last corner in both of them. Can you just tell us a little bit about your race and how you lined up that last corner move once again?
Well, I wasn't thinking that this could happen a month ago. Now I'm here, 2 victories, pole position, incredible. Last lap, amazing. I overtake Maxim in the last straight, but well, this is a race, and I just want to say thanks to my team, dedicate that victory for my brother, that tomorrow is his birthday. Also to my mom, that is the Mother's Day. My family, my second family, the team, my sponsors, everyone. Yeah, say thanks.
Congratulations, Brian. Y ahora, cuéntame sobre tu carrera, la última curva, 2x2. ¿Cómo te sientes ahora?
Bueno, me siento muy bien, he visto que tenía buen ritmo. Todos eran muy rápidos, a pesar de tirar y empujar, nadie no me iba a escapar. Y bueno, he jugado mis cartas en la última curva. Máximo ha hecho muy buen trabajo, ha decidido el tirar y yo adelantarle y bueno, pues son carreras y solo quiero agradecer la carrera a mi equipo, dedicar esta carrera a mi hermano que mañana es su cumpleaños, a mi madre por el Día de la Madre y bueno, a Hugo y su familia que me apoyan siempre y esta victoria también me ha ayudado Hugo seguro y bueno, le echamos mucho de menos, así que nada, esta victoria va para él.
Felicidades.
And this is how Brian Uriarte won race number 2 of the European Talent Cup in Estoril. As lights went out, he got a great hole shot from the front of the grid, but it was Hakim Danish who went round the outside originally to take the lead of the race. But it wouldn't be long before Brian Uriarte would find his feet and get back into the mix and at the front of the field as the rest of the battle was heating up further down. Guido Pini would make a move up the inside for second before he would eventually take the lead of the race, passing the likes of Max Quiles as all 3 riders went down the back straight in towards turn number 7. 3 abreast, the action was heating up quite brilliantly throughout the European Talent Cup. Further back, all riders throughout the entire field, all 30 of them scrapping it out for every position they could get, but it was David Gonzalez who found his way to the front mid-race as well, before Rico Salmela went round the outside, but it wasn't to be as Uriarte late on the brakes managed to sweep into first position once more. Slipstream City was the name of the game in race number 2 here today for European Talent Cup, and we got plenty of it. Rico Salmela retook the lead ahead of Guido Pini, with Brian Uriarte getting shuffled back ever more. Salmela would lead the way, but some problems coming through turn number 5 would see Pini, Gonzalez and Hakim Danish overtake him, shuffling the Finnish rider back a few more places. But then it would be your eventual race 1 winner and your race 2 winner that would find his way back towards the front, with Guido Pini in hot pursuit. Dodo Boggio making moves from the further back down the field, and he, on the bright yellow helmet, would try his best to take his first victory since Jerez last year. Then disaster struck as Guido Pini lost the front in towards turn number 7, taking down the luckless Hakim Danish, but thankfully both riders walked away from that incident with only a couple of laps remaining. But it was a slipstream towards the end of the race, and it was Max Quiles who led the way, but Brian Uriarte took it as the checkered flag waved for his second win of the day, a double here in Estoril for Brian Uriarte. Celebrations all round with his team as he came back into Parc Fermé. Brian Uriarte is a 2-10 race winner in Estoril. Well, a podium that everyone on it will be delighted with their result. David Gonzalez taking his first ever European Talent Cup podium. With Max Quiles happy with a very solid result today, a 4th and a 2nd place. And he knows he is very much in contention for a 2nd championship in the European Talent Cup. But Brian Uriarte, he is the rider that everyone will be chasing going into Valencia in just a couple of weeks' time. Back-to-back wins here today, European Talent Cup, full house, 50 points for him. Trophy given out to the team as well. That's another one for the cabinet for the team Estrella Galicia. And David Gonzalez, that will be one of the most important trophies he will ever hold in his career, as he knows this was just a stepping stone onto bigger and better things for the Cuna de Campeones rider. In the 2nd place, he's had plenty of them in the cabinet in the past with race wins, championships and podiums, but Max Quiles, this will be another important trophy for him as he bids to retake the championship he lost in 2023. But to do so, they'll have to stop this man, Brian Uriarte. It's the 2nd winner's trophy of the day. He's delighted with that, smiles all around, a very popular rider within the paddock, and he'll be happening to hear the Spanish national anthem.
A very proud moment then for the trio of Spanish riders as they hear their own national anthem. Aboard the podium here after race 2 of the ETC, the European Talent Cup here at Estoril. Celebrations in full flow and a bit of a splash around on top of the box. So it's picture time now for our podium trio. Brian Uriarte on top once again here with Maximo Quiles and David Gonzalez taking P2 and P3 here at Circuito do Estoril respectively. So these are our results. Uriarte, Quiles, Gonzalez on the podium. Dodo Baggio just misses out with Alberto Fernandez not far behind. Podium finisher in race 1, Rico Salmela also misses out as Jesus Torres and Rush Mudley, Lorenz Luciano finished 7th, 8th and 9th. Guillaume Plonk takes a top 10 finish. Hamad Khamis Al Sahuti, P11, another decent showing for the Qatari rider in the ETC. Benyat Fernandez, Pau Alsina, Carter Thompson and Gonzalo Perez round out the point scoring positions. Adriano Donoso, Brinton, Liguri, Agostinelli, Aguilar, Alomar, Roman, Kayet, Rotola and Van Triet are next in the standings. And Greek rider Vasilis Pantiliakis completes today's race finishers in race 2. So this is how the championship standings look after 2 races. It's maximum points after an Uriarte double, the number 51 with 50 points. Maximo Quiles moves up into 2nd, 17 points off his compatriot with Rico Salmela in 3rd on 30. Gonzalez takes home 25 points from Portugal. Rush Mudley, the South African, on 19, 1 point ahead of Dodo Baggio, while Hakim Danish has his podium celebration on 16. So lots of point scorers across the 2 races. Jesus Torres, Pau Alsina, Guillaume Plonk all picking up 10, as has Benyat Fernandez. A little further behind is Belgian rider Luciano. Reigning champion Guido Pini sits on 8 points. And rounding out the final point scorers from all of today's action, Gonzalo Perez, 1 point in his P15, with Carter Thompson picking up 2. So the day here at the European Talent Cup belongs to one rider and one rider only. Brian Uriarte takes home double victory here at Estoril, and they are well-deserved celebrations for the young Spaniard.